Recently, my grandson was visiting with me, and like good grandparents, we decided to take him down to the beach for the afternoon. I'm at the point in my life where when I take my grandson to the beach, I just hand him a bucket and I hand him some shovels and I let him go at it. And I sit down on my beach chair. Some of you understand what I'm talking about. Of course, every once in a while, I have to get up and get out of my beach chair and help him surf a few small waves on his boogie board. But for the most part, he can handle himself and provide his own entertainment while he's at the beach. Have you ever noticed this about little boys? They can meet a stranger and within minutes they can be best friends playing with each other. Maybe that's a lesson some of us could learn as well. It never ceases to amaze me how quickly they can make friends. On this day, there was another little boy playing by himself on the beach. And within a couple of minutes, they looked like they'd been best friends since the day they had been born. They were playing so well and having so much fun together that after a few minutes, I decided to go over and introduce myself to the little boy's parents and grandparents. Turns out they're here on vacation and were enjoying the beach. The thing I noticed first when I walked up is they had on Alabama football caps, and they were obviously fans from the University of Alabama, and they were here visiting on vacation. I thought to myself, you see, if you raise a good little boy right, he'll know how to pick his good friends to play with. Okay, I know I digress and I need to move on. After a while, I began to just watch these two little boys playing out on the sand in front of the ocean. They had dug a hole in the sand that was actually now pretty deep. And after they completed their little engineering feat of digging deep into the sand, they decided they wanted to fill the hole up with water. So at first they took the small little buckets they had and they were running to the ocean. It was only about 10 feet away, filling up their little buckets and coming back and dumping them into the hole. This went on for quite a little bit, running back and forth from the water to the hole, filling it up. The problem is they were never going to fill the hole up. As energetically as they poured water into the hole, as soon as their pails were empty, the water began to seep right back into the sand. And by the time they ran into the ocean and got another pail of water and ran back, the hole was as empty as it was when they started. And to me, I thought it was so frustrating, but it didn't bother them at all. They were on a mission. Soon they figured they'd come up to where I was and grab bigger buckets. So they got bigger buckets and they went back to the same process, but they came up with the same results. I sat there and watched them literally for about 15 minutes running from hole to ocean, hauling water back and forth in a futile attempt to fill up their little hole. I got a big laugh out of it, and it was my entertainment for the day at the beach. No matter how hard they tried or how fast they ran, they were never going to fill that hole up. Then I thought about it. Even if they filled up the hole, so what? What would they have accomplished? What are they working so hard for? Yet it didn't bother them. They were having a blast, and it never fazed them that they would never complete their task. They had the energy, they had the time, and they had the desire. Me, on the other hand, I had nothing else to do but sit there and watch them and reflect on their little adventure. It began to dawn on me that you and I do the same thing. We work frantically trying to fill the holes in our life. We keep pouring our time, our money, our energy into efforts that we think will fill our lives, yet it never seems to produce the end result that we're after. All the items we jam into our lives find a way to seep back out. No matter how much we try, we're still empty after searching for something to fill the void in our life. So we go get bigger buckets and we work harder, but we get the same results. What is a harmless game for children on the seashore is not so harmless in our lives. We spend hour after hour frantically trying to fill up our lives, but never seem to be able to do so. That's why millionaires and celebrities can be as unhappy and unsatisfied as a blue-collar worker, because those things don't fill your life. At some point, We need to discover what it is that fills us up and brings meaning to our lives. How funny that they're trying to fill a hole. I thought about this. They're trying to fill a hole with water, while 10 feet behind them there's an entire ocean filled with water. Day by day, we attempt to do what only God can do. We're trying to fill our lives with things that won't fill it. Yet his ocean, God's ocean of grace and purpose, lies within our reach, yet we're intent on digging our own holes. The old prophet Jeremiah quoted God, who said of the nation of Israel in Jeremiah 2:13, "For my people have done two evil things. They have abandoned me, the fountain of living water, and they have dug for themselves cracked cisterns that can hold no water at all." All the attempts at filling our lives with man-made devices and pursuits will end up useless. Only Jesus can satisfy our soul. Only the pursuit of God and his will and purpose for our life will ever bring the satisfaction we desire. Jesus met a woman at a well in Samaria who had spent her life trying to find happiness. She had more relationships than you can imagine trying to fill that emptiness. And Jesus said to her in John 4, verse 14, "Whoever drinks the water I give him will never thirst. Indeed, the water I give him will become in him a spring of water welling up to eternal life." Today, as you take this time to spend a little time with the Lord, I want to encourage you to look at your own efforts in your life. Where are you concentrating your efforts? Are you feverishly working and chasing after things that will never bring you the return on your investment? How much time and energy are you spending on pursuing the things of God? No wonder we stay so exhausted. God has made us a great promise. He said in Isaiah 12:3, "With joy, you will draw water from the wells of salvation." That's where we ought to be digging. It's in him that we find our joy. Here's a thought for the day. Make sure that what you're chasing is worth the chase. Here's a prayer for today. God, help me today to seek after you and the things of God, not empty pursuits. God bless you and have a great day.